JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, man shot dead in Gregory Park as violence continues. Gang violence continues to plague the community of Gregory Park in Portmore, St. Catherine, as another man was shot dead Sunday. The deceased has been identified as 37-year-old Anton Bryan of Darling Street in Kingston. Reports are that about 12:05 p.m., Bryan was among a group of residents on Walcon Drive when a lone man approached and opened gunfire, hitting him multiple times before escaping. The police were summoned and was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The investigation is in an embryonic stage, but we understand that the killing stems from a dispute. Superintendent of Police Upton Nicholson, the acting commander in charge of the St. Catherine South Division, said the Gregory Park area has been plagued by intergang violence in recent months, according to Nicholson. The area has been quiet for a month, but there's been an uptick in the area with one murder on Wednesday and then another on Sunday. There have been several incidents of intergang violence across the division. There are areas in the community such as Gulf, Banga Gully and Mexico where there are persons there who are part of rival gangs, so there are ongoing conflicts caused by intergang violence, ego and generational disputes, and this is further aggravated by migrant criminals, he said. Nicholson sought to assure residents that there will be heavy security presence to fight the crime monster in the area. Police and the military are in the community. We're going to be there 24/7 to apprehend the criminals and keep citizens safe, Nicholson said. St. James man killed in freak accident while rushing to aid friend in need. A 46-year-old St. James man was killed in a freak accident on the Elegant Corridor in the vicinity of Flanker on Sunday evening. That is Raymond Lindo, a dive instructor for Norwood Housing Scheme address. According to information provided by a police source, Linda was attempting to cross the road about 6:30 p.m. after receiving a friend's call for assistance. His friend, our source said, had met in a two-vehicle collision on the Elegant Corridor just minutes before. An accident happened at the same spot. The lady called him from his house because the people involved in the accident she was in started to behave boisterously, so he rushed from his home to assist her, said the police source, who asked not to be named. The now deceased man was reported to be approximately 2 feet away from the median when he was hit by a white BMW traveling in the opposite direction. He exited his vehicle and was in the process of going across the road to her when he was hit by a BMW. It is an unfortunate situation. He was just trying to reach her because she was afraid, the source said. Linda died as a result of injuries sustained. It has been alleged that the man's licensed firearm, which fell from his waistband, was stolen. Suspects in elderly sister's killing released. 2 suspects who were held in connection with the gruesome murder of 2 elderly women earlier this month have been released without charge. The suspects were picked up shortly after 72-year-old Lola Lewis, who was disabled, and Christine Lewis, 69, a retired teacher and a justice of the peace, were discovered with their throats slashed in Spring Village, St. Catherine. The police are reporting that the suspects, both males, were interviewed and later released as there was no evidence tying them to the incident. Further investigations are being conducted, the police said. It is reported that residents stumbled upon the bodies inside the house after going to investigate a foul odor. One of the bodies was found in a front room and the other in a back room. The house was reportedly ransacked. The police were then summoned. Residents of the community expressed shock at the killing. 16-year-old boy gunned down in Craigtown. A 16-year-old boy was shot dead by an unknown assailant in Craigtown, Kingston, on Sunday. The deceased has been identified as Dwayne Lee, otherwise called Tete, of Beckford Street in Kingston. Reports on the Denham Town Police are that about 10:05 a.m., Lee was among a group of residents standing along the roadway when a lone man approached and opened gunfire, hitting him multiple times before escaping. The police were alerted, and Lee was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. 2 arrested after gun and ammo found in St. James police raid. 2 people arrested in connection with a loaded gun that was found during a targeted police raid in Bickerseth, Cambridge in St. James on Monday. Their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. The police said the raid was conducted about 6:57 a.m., during which the weapon, a .38 revolver with 6 cartridges, was found. Anyone found with a illegal gun should be given death penalty, says Holness. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he believes that criminals convicted for illegal possession of a firearm should be put to death for their sentence.
Because I believe at the heart of the problem is the easy access to the gun. Our current law is structured to treat with legal firearms. The current law assumes that you have the firearm legally, that it came into the country legally. That's not the case. The problem that we have in Jamaica is the inflow, a mass unregulated inflow of unregistered light arms and weapons from post-war countries and from our big trading partners to the north. Sent here in exchange for drugs or sent in barrels with food to family to support internecine gang wars and feuds, for sport and ostentatious display, to support the control of turf, with the ultimate impact of destabilizing the Jamaican state by the expression of the ultimate violence, taking lives. Were it up to me, I am not a believer in the death penalty, but for this I would make an exception. Anyone found with a gun should start with the death penalty. That's how strongly I feel about it. Anyone found with an illegal weapon, an illegal firearm, that's how serious we should treat it. Forgive the hyperbolic expression. But what I'm saying is there needs to be stiffer penalties for those people who import the weapon, who provide the weapons to the killers, who lock the weapons, who use them to intimidate people. There should be the harshest penalties for them. They should start at the highest level. They shouldn't get automatic, bargaining, plea bargaining. No. Those who perpetrate this should face the most severe consequence. Now, there is a view sometimes held that man have the gun to defend himself. And so sometimes people get light sentences because they are able to say, well, the gun is there for my defense. That must be rejected. We must have a movement to disarm Jamaica of illegal guns. And the only way that you should get any reduction in sentencing is if you tell us where the gun come from, how you get it, who sent it come. And as you give us information, so you get a reduction in your sentence. That's what should be. So we are preparing a new Firearms Act. I wish it could be that draconian. But we will do our best to send a signal that we will not tolerate illegal firearms in this country.
June 2022 projected reopening for Chapelton Hospital. Residents of Northern Clarendon, if all goes well, will be enjoying the services of a much improved Chapelton Hospital come June 2022. During a tour of the facility on Thursday, Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, said the contract for the second phase of work to be carried out on the facility has been signed after going through the procurement process. He said he is hoping that work can begin as early as the next few weeks, with the only interruption expected to occur during the Christmas season. Tufton, in expounding on the second and final phase of the $112 million upgrade, said it will see the further expansion of the facility. This is a very important institution in Northern Clarendon, and it's all about reaching the people at their community level rather than them traveling long distances, he noted. The upgraded facility will offer a number of critical services, including dental health. It will also see an improvement in inpatient care with the addition of 40 more beds and more personnel. When completed, it will operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which will translate into residents having access at all times. Member of Parliament for Clarendon North Central Robert Nestor Morgan said the community has been lacking a hospital for quite a while, and the government, along with Beverly Nicholson from the Push Start Foundation, a United States-based entity headed by Nicholson, a Caledonian, decided to make the investment to complete the hospital. Morgan noted that with approximately 2,000 people using the community centre every month, when the Chapelton Hospital is completed, its services can go beyond the community to neighbouring areas such as Mucko, Kellits, and as far away as Frankfield. It won't be at the level of Mapen Hospital, but this hospital will have many of the services you need. Major services won't be here because it's not equipped with a theatre for that, but it will give us a big boost in terms of dealing with people with NCDs, he pointed out. Meanwhile, Karen Nelson, acting Senior Public Health Nurse for Clarendon, who was assigned to the Clarendon Health Services in Maypen, said it was more than welcomed news as she expressed joy, not just for herself, but for those who are serving at the clinic at Summerfield. I'm excited about it being commissioned back into service next year. This means so much to us, but more so to the residents, as it will see the cutting back on the cost of the patients who have to be transferred to the Maypen Hospital. It will also see the burden being eased at Maypen, she said. The services of the Chapelton Hospital were transferred to the Summerfield Community Centre on April 1, 2019, with the expectation that the relocation would have been only for a few months. Jamaica records 53 new COVID cases, 3 more deaths. Jamaica reported 53 new cases of COVID-19 and 3 virus-related deaths on Sunday, pushing the total number of confirmed cases on the island since the outbreak to 91,222 and the confirmed deaths to 2,391. The new cases comprise 34 females and 19 males, with ages ranging from 1 year to 91 years. According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, 15 of the cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew, 7 in St. James, 6 each in St. Anne and St. Catherine, 5 in Clarendon, 3 each in St. Mary and Westmoreland, 2 each in Trelawney and Manchester, and 1 each in Hanover, Portland, St. Elizabeth and St. Thomas. The latest victims are an 82-year-old female from St. Catherine, an 87-year-old female from St. Catherine, and a 69-year-old male from Kingston and St. Andrew. The ministry further reported 95 new recoveries, which pushed the total recoveries to 62,539. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.